I want to go back to something I covered earlier in the show. Labor frontbencher Joel Fitzgibbon warning that the Labor Party could one day split because it was trying to please both urban voters in Victoria and New South Wales with extreme global warming policies that really put off voters in Queensland. So what to do? But I have to wonder whether the party is sort of split already. I mean, the latest news poll shows just 1 in 3 voters now back Labor, and it's lost some very high-profile leaders to other parties, more conservative parties. Warren Mundine used to be the federal Labor president, but then joined the Liberals, stood at the last election for them. And then there was Mark Latham, who was the federal Labor leader. He left and became the leader of One Nation in the New South Wales Parliament. And he joins me now. Mark Latham, it's always fantastic to talk to you. Is Joel Fitzgibbon right that Labor's could in some distant day split?
Well, in the culture of the Labor Party, Andrew, it's a remarkable statement. No Labor MP would have spoken of an impending split for some 65 years since the horrific split of 1955. So this will be a real shock inside the system and the Labor culture to hear a frontbencher talk this way. But when you drill into the substance of what he's on about, it doesn't make a lot of sense, because he's saying, oh, there'll be 2 Labor parties and maybe they can get together in coalition and form government. One day, one of those Labor parties will be the traditional working class Labor Party, supporting the coal industry and jobs, and the other Labor Party will be the bourgeois lefty Labor Party, believing in 100% it's a no job. So what sort of government they form on the key issue over which they split, climate change and energy policy? I think working class Labor's probably closer to Barnaby Joyce and Matt Canavan in their attitude to the coal industry and energy policy. So this notion of a grand Labor coalition in the future doesn't make any sense. The truth is Labor needs to get a policy that reconciles the terrible flaws, thinking you're going to have zero emissions in 2050 and also huge economic damage out of that off the back of a recession in 2020. Anthony Albanese today said, oh, we're a modern party. No, they're not. The key policy is support for nuclear energy, carbon emission free, but reliable baseload power, certainly down electricity prices in Australia. Their policy is 1970. Albanese's policy there is a relic of in a museum behind glass stand. So they're not modern, they're ancient, they're split on the policy issue, but Fitzgibbon's solution is fanciful.
Mark, you have been such a warrior against identity politics and the cancel culture. The ABC has now pulled from iView 2 episodes of Bluey, which is an Emmy Award-winning kids show, because only one viewer in this entire nation of 25 million complained that it had used the word ooga booga. He said ooga booga had racial connotations. The ABC said, what? We had no idea. Nor did the external producers. No idea that ooga booga had a potentially derogatory meaning, but they've now said it's ooga booga is racist, perhaps, so we're taking these episodes off iView. Now, what do you make of this?
Well, everything at the ABC is racist. Everything in Australia that they look at, they think it's racist, and they've hit upon the big one, haven't they? They've really drilled into the root cause of structural systemic racism in Australia. A dog cartoon has been pulled because they uttered the words ooga booga. Now, this is just one of many memos that I missed, Andrew. I never get these memos defining these words. A few years ago, I missed the one on Negro, which apparently is a racist term now. I've missed the one on ooga booga. I did a survey down at my daughter's soccer match, from which I came this evening, and most people are saying a booger is something that kids pick out of their nose. There doesn't appear to be in Middle Australia and civil society any understanding that ooga booga is somehow racist. The closest I got was a young man who told me it's got something to do with cavemen. But I don't know. Ooga booga sounds like something that's eminently suited to a kids' show with a talking dog cartoon. But at the ABC, it's yet another racism crisis for people who, if they can't find real racism in Australia, they invent it down to these 2 unacceptable, totally shameful dog talking cartoons. So what they can't find in Australia, they invent. And the old ABC, we could live without them.
But that's the thing, the ABC, even the ABC had no idea that it was a racist. And you know what I think it is? I think the racism lies in the eye of the single person that complained. Because I agree with you. The Ooga Booga, there's some definitions that maybe it's from caveman talk. They've reached into another definition that maybe it is something to do with, black people or something, Ooga Booga, to me, is meant to denote some sort of savagery, people who don't speak properly, and the viewer that saw this thinks, that means black people. He is the racist, or she is the racist by associating Ooga Booga with black people. That is the problem, Mark.
Yeah, it is. The ABC
they should have told them to go away.
Yeah, the ABC didn't even get their own memo on this. They didn't know it was racist. So the one person who's complained needed to send out an email broadcast or put it on social media so everyone got the memo. Maybe the only time I can remember, more as a parent, anyone uttering the words Ooga Booga is in the context of the boogeyman, playing with kids. The boogeyman, Ooga Booga would be his call sign. I don't know what these poor dog cartoons have done, but if that's the worst racism problem we've got in Australia, what a wonderful country we must be. There must be no real racism out there. It's got to come out of the world of animation.
Mark, you're so right. And I always thought that booger was something you found up your nose, not in Africa. But there you go.
That was the most common response down at the soccer match this evening, kids picking it out of their nose. So a lot of people in Camden at the Falcons versus Tigers under-13 girls soccer match, they missed the memo too. The person who complained,
what a sensible competition you attend.
Be a bit more active and get your memo out around the nation, please.
Yeah, we need a central data bank of all the words that have got tripwires around them. Tell us now, don't save them for later so that you can say, gotcha. Just tell us now so that they're there. Mark Latham, thank you so much indeed for your time.
A pleasure. Thanks, Andrew.